This week, Kia Sorento is dead. Long live Kia Sorento. Let me explain. Kia Sorento is in its dusk. This model is almost dead. In 3 months' time, there'll be a new one. And it'll be styled along the lines of Seltos, that brilliant car we reviewed just a little while ago. I'll put a link to that in the comments below. Kia Sorento Black is based on the Sport model, which is about mid-range, but Kia says it's designed to fit somewhere between the two top models. It has this nifty sunroof. The 3.5 litre V6 gets 206 kilowatts and 336 newton meters and emits 332 grams of CO2 per kilometre. That's quite a lot. Having said that, the combined fuel consumption is 10 litres per 100 kilometres, which is not too bad for an enormous 7-seater SUV. Along with that, it gets 7 years roadside assist, 7 years cap price servicing and 7 years warranty. This V6 petrol model, of course, comes with an 8-speed automatic, as indeed all Sorentos do, and that's an in-house 8-speed automatic, which is deliciously smooth. But only the diesel versions have all-wheel drive. It does have various driving modes, but honestly, driving it in comfort mode is best. The steering's nice and light, and honestly, that's the way most people like it. Now comes a big bump. And you can see that suspension is fairly soft. Like all Kias, the Sorento is fettled by Graham Gambold, who is somewhat of a genius when it comes to suspension and automatic transmission and steering tuning. And he takes whatever comes into the country and spends about a year making sure that it's set for Australian conditions. And what that means is our settings are different to a Kia that you might buy in America or in Europe or indeed in Korea. And that's good because it means it's suited for Australian roads. On some Kias, he's even specified the exact tyres. Once out of the country and we're now on city roads, on this smooth tarmac, Sorento is supremely smooth. And it's going to be suited for people that want to do things like school runs. I mean, some of us do have kids after all. I don't, but some of us do. But that doesn't mean to say that you couldn't use Sorento on a long trip. You're unlikely to take 7 people on a long trip, so you could use the stowage bit in the back for lots of suitcases. And we certainly did that at the launch. We drove it over many, many different road surfaces. This is a relatively old car, as I said, and in a few months' time it's being replaced by the new one, which has killer looks. It just is absolutely brilliant. Here's another shot. Now you can see that it is modelled, as I said, on the Seltos. And with the departure of Peter Schreier from the design team, who once worked for Audi, he's been replaced by somebody else who apparently also worked for Audi, there's still that European flavour in the design. We've upped the speed now and we're doing about 70. And you notice how quiet it is. It is absolutely beautiful. In fact, it's hard to believe that you're in a really large 7-seater SUV. That V6 engine has plenty of pull, but of course it has more power than the diesel, but less torque. But it's actually my pick. It's actually a beautiful engine. I was talking to Kia this morning and asked them why they put the additions, the sunroof and the black trim, and those beautiful black wheels, I think they look absolutely brilliant, on a second to bottom model. And they said they just wanted to make that model a little bit better value. As you look around the cabin, one thing you do notice is that there are almost no shiny surfaces, which means there's no sun to glint in your eyes in the afternoon. And the only ones that are concave, so you're not going to get this huge flash of bright sunlight in your eyes to blind you. And you really don't notice that until it actually happens and you're kind of holding your face up. Even with sunnies, it's a bit of a surprise. The infotainment system, of course, has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as indeed most Kias do. And that makes commuting a joy. It means you can handle your telephony, your voice, and even your music just by using Siri. I've got it plugged in at the moment. Let's see how it works. Hey Siri. She's being a smart aleck. Take me home. Take me home.
Getting directions to home.
And it's come up on the screen, as you can see. And if I do nothing, that will just start. So now it's giving me directions to my home. Now, I think that is brilliant. It means that you really can do things in your car without having to take your eyes off the road and without having to press any buttons. And the fact that the engine's so responsive and the transmission's so smooth and the steering so light makes it really easy to maneuver in town. The reversing camera has predictive lights, so that makes it easy to park. There's also parking sensors front and rear with a visual warning as well as an audible one. There's lots of safety gadgets too. There's smart lane control, so the steering keeps you centered. There's smart cruise control, so you set a distance to the car in front and it'll keep that distance no matter what. You really do feel like this really big car is looking after you. I've now got my cruise control set at 80 kilometers an hour, which is the speed limit, and you feel like the car's kind of driving itself, which is an eerie feeling. Before we go, a quick word about the fuel economy and the cabin. Firstly, the fuel economy with a mixture of city, country and highway driving, we've actually achieved 10 litres per 100 kilometres, which is strange because that's what Kia claims the fuel economy is. Then we move to the cabin. All of the surfaces are nice and soft. So the design, whether or not you'd like it, is not offensive. It's everything in its place. It's neat and it's tidy. And I like that. I like that a lot. The instruments are nice and easy to read. There's two large dials which show you all the essential information. Plus, there's a large LCD in between them where there's a digital speedo. We've also got dual zone climate control with a sync button and auto folding mirrors so that when you lock the car, the mirrors fold. That's it. That's all for this week. Kia Sorento. The black edition is, I think, a really good amount of car for $49,000 and some change. Watch out for our launch of the brand new model in 3 months' time. Until then, hit just there to subscribe, leave a comment and a like.